Brian, when we look at this class, the obvious is to go from the top down because of the impact players are supposed to come from the very talented portion of the ratings and the rankings that we have now bashed. But at the same time, there is some validity to them. But I will give you free reign to pick and choose through this class in regards to your evaluation of who you really like or who may be just an interesting fit for this program and who may splash in season one.
Well, I think you have to start on offense with this class. And it's kind of funny. We have a phrase at Irish Breakdown. We say, just let it play out, right? We use that phrase all the time. Just be patient. Because back in March, a lot of Notre Dame fans were kind of panicking, like, man, this offensive class is way behind the defensive class. Like, what's happening? Should they fire Tommy Rees and all this other kind of stuff? I'm like, they just hired their staff. Like, just got a brand new staff. How about we hang on for a second? Now you fast forward to signing day, and this is an excellent offensive class. I just put my grades out for the offensive class earlier. I gave it an A minus. Because I have a very high very high standard for an A grade. It has to be really, really special. And this class was really, really special, just slightly off of really being a truly, truly, truly game-changing number one, number two overall offensive haul. And it really starts with the skill players. I mean, I think that's a thing, Mark, when you watch this Notre Dame football team play this year, you look at the things that this group was lacking, right? They were lacking impact quarterback. And that was obvious from the first game of the year, but especially after Tyler Buckner got hurt. They were lacking, in my opinion, sort of the big play type of potential at receiver. Now, some of that is because some of the guys that I felt were impact players were on the bench and should have been playing, and we saw them play later. But outside of Michael Mayer, you didn't see a really dynamic group of players where you go out and you get Kenny Minchie, who's I grade out as a top 100 recruit. SI99 grades out as a top 100 recruit. He's seen his ranking skyrocket. Jeremiah Love is a top 100 recruit. You see him on the board there. He had a monster season at the end, especially at the end. I put in a stat today, Mark, that I think in eight playoff games, he's got over 1,000 yards and 17 rushing touchdowns and over 20 total touchdowns in his career. And he averaged over 11 yards a carry in the playoffs the last 2 years in high school. Really dynamic home run threat. Really popped as a senior. Tall, long, fast, elusive. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. Great player. And then receiver was the biggest need in this class beyond quarterback. And they hit an absolute home run with players like Braylon James, who's a top 100 recruit in my view, Jaden Greathouse, again, who one service ranks in the top 100 and the other 24/7 doesn't even have it in their top 247. So some of these rankings just were a little strange to me this year. But he's one of the most prolific players in the country. Had, I think, 3,000-yard seasons during his career, lost one high school football game in his last 3 years, just an outstanding football player. Caleb Smith's a dynamic after-the-catch kind of guy from Texas. And then they got Rico Flores, who also had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons out in Folsom, California against very good competition. So they got a very balanced receiver class, different types of skilled players. There's the take the top off guy in Braylon James, the sort of the high-volume player in Jaden Greathouse. There's the precision route runner in Rico Flores. And then there's the, hey, throw him a screen, give him a quick ball, and let him go do some stuff in Caleb Smith. And then you've got the home run hitter running back. So they needed a big infusion of offensive playmakers, and they needed a big-time quarterback, and I believe they checked all those boxes with that one, Mark, and got one of the better quarterbacks in a loaded quarterback class, got one of the best running backs in the country, and arguably the best receiver class in the country. That's truly arguable. There's a couple other really good ones, but Notre Dame is absolutely in that conversation, and they, more than anything else, they needed that on the offensive side of the ball is an infusion of playmakers, and they got a lot of them.